Hello, welcome to the Dragon Boat Upstate Festival virtual team training. On behalf of the Prisma Health Cancer Institute and the patients served, we're so grateful you are here and involved in the fight against cancer. As you can see, I'm a little casual. Today I'm working from home, and this was just the best time for me to record this training. So no shame if you're in your PJs or watching from home. That's the purpose of this training, is that it's easily accessible for you to watch on your own time and whenever works best for you. I'm Isabel. I'm the event coordinator for the 2023 festival and your point of contact for all things Dragon Boat. I have some other teammates, Brandon Bradbury, Jim Kaltenbach, CB Events, who also support the event. So I may point you in their direction if you reach out to me, but you can always reach out to me and I'm happy to help you as best as I can and point you in the right direction. So, for those of you who are new to Dragon Boat, I'm going to give a quick background on what the Dragon Boat Upstate Festival is. Dragon Boat is led by the Prisma Health Cancer Institute in the Upstate. It's been a festival for 17 years now. Participants of Dragon Boat raise money for the Cancer Institute to fund free community prevention services, to fund research that's aimed at stopping cancer, to fund free survivorship resources for those battling cancer, resources like workout classes, nutrition guidance, emotional support, and so much more. There is additional information on where the money supports us on the website, and I can show you where that information is in our website tutorial after this presentation. A Dragon Boat team is made of a team captain, paddlers, and one drummer. The team captain can be a joint effort. It doesn't always have to fall on one person, but that role essentially unites the paddlers by often communicating about fundraising, planning for the main event, and encouraging paddlers throughout the way. Paddlers help the team captain through fundraising and by taking on responsibilities to help the team have a great day on the water. Responsibilities could include bringing food to the festival, bringing decorations, designing the team t-shirt, or whatever it is you and your team captain and you as a team decide to do to support your efforts. We also have an option to sign up as a spectator for those who want to be on a team but don't want to paddle at the festival. Paddling is physical. I'm not going to lie, it's hard. It definitely gets your breath going and heartbeat racing. So if you don't want to be physical, that's totally okay, but you still want to be involved. Select yourself as a spectator and make sure you communicate that to the team captain just so they know you won't be paddling in the Dragon Boat the day of the race. At the festival, you can see in this photo here, there's tents provided. We provide a tent for all of the teams. It's set up. All you have to do is show up with your team and with your decorations, with your food. You are responsible for feeding yourselves, dressing up the tent, and making it as fun as possible. But it essentially turns into a huge tailgate. Teams start decorating as early as 7 a.m. We're out in front of Lake Hartwell, right at the marina, so we're facing the water. It's beautiful. We start racing at about 10:30 a.m. So if you start decorating at 7, that gives you plenty of time to set up your tailgate, to have a fun day and to kind of get prepared for the actual race. And then around 10:30 or so, teams take to the water to compete for the top spot of being the fastest dragon boat. So your team could paddle multiple times depending on your paddling performance. There is a halftime ceremony. We call it the Hope ceremony in the middle of the race around lunchtime. So you'll have a break, you can eat, enjoy the halftime ceremony. That's where we honor and celebrate those impacted by cancer. And then after the halftime ceremony, hope ceremony, we finish off the race and then conclude with an award ceremony. We flip the final fundraising number, and that concludes at around 2 or 3 p.m. it's a great day on the water on May 6th this year at Portman Marina. So where do you start? There's a lot of moving pieces. We start early. The first step for team captains and teams, if you're a paddler, is to develop your team. Both team captains and paddlers can have a role in developing the team. The biggest tip is to start as early as you can. If you haven't already, sign up your team at dragonboatupstatesc.org. That's the website, dragonboatupstatesc.org. The website has templates to help you recruit paddlers and a lot of other resources to support your efforts. If you're a paddler, as I mentioned, you can play a role in recruiting team members. Get with your team captain about who, if you have friends or family or acquaintances that are interested in paddling, just make sure you communicate with the team on who you're recruiting or making sure that you even need paddlers. But everyone has a role in developing the team. Anyone and everyone is welcome to be a part of a Dragon Boat team. It's open to the community. There's no certain criteria other than each team must fundraise a minimum of $5,000 to have a boat in the water, and that $5,000 fundraise goes toward the Cancer Institute and the services funded through Dragon Boat, which we'll get into here in a little bit. But each team has to have 21 people total to paddle on the water. So you'll see here the Dragon Boat. It's a long boat, so that's why it takes so many people to actually race. There are 20 paddlers and 1 drummer, and you'll have what we call an oarsman, who is a professional who will also help lead your team through the race. And the drummer is literally hitting a drum to keep everyone on the same beat. We do recommend 25 total on your team. You only need a minimum of 21, but the reason why we recommend 25 is because, again, if you perform well in the race, you'll have to go out on the water multiple times. If you aren't really looking to be physical, someone may get tired easily. Someone might get sick at the last minute and isn't able to come. So we do recommend recruiting 25 just to have some alternates of people as backup, or who maybe just don't want to paddle multiple times throughout the day. 25 people also makes fundraising super achievable. If you break it down, that's only $200 a person. When I say 5,000, that might have been very intimidating. You might have thought, how are we going to raise $5,000? But when you break it down, it makes it really achievable, and it's only $200 on a person for a 25-person team. So while you're developing your team, we also encourage you to personalize your team page and your individual page. Only team captains have access to the team page. So if you're a paddler and want something specific on your team page, get with your team captain about personalizing your page. But everyone has access to personalizing their individual page. This individual page is almost like your GoFundMe. That's where you're going to collect your donations as an individual and as a team. If someone donates to your individual page, it's still going to go toward your team total and reflect in your team thermometer. So as an individual, we encourage every individual to fundraise, but just know that it does all connect to your team's thermometer and your team's goals on the website. So we'll jump into a tutorial after this presentation to show you how you can personalize your page on the website. And here are just some examples of how some teams and paddlers and team captains have personalized their page. Step 2, so you've recruited your team, you've personalized your pages. Now it's time to fundraise. So I emphasize the fun and fundraising because we truly want everyone to have fun while doing this. We don't want it to be a burden or intimidating for you. We want it to be fun for everyone. So, while, and it's okay to fundraise too as you're developing your team. It's just easier to kind of start fundraising once you have your team developed. So, as I mentioned, each team is required to raise a minimum of $5,000 to race on May 6th at Portman Marina. I think I gave the example of 25 paddlers is only $200 a paddler. Here I broke it down for 21 paddlers for some of those teams who just already are struggling to get 21 people. That's totally okay if you have 21. That's again only $238 a paddler though. Personally, you could probably give up eating out for a week and donate to that goal instead, and you would probably as an individual come up with that 238 pretty easily, if you don't want to ask friends or family. But once you start personally making the ask to your friends, to your family, to your acquaintances, you'll be so surprised at how generous people are, and how we all want a reason to give back to something, to feel like we're making a difference in something. People just have to be asked. And another big tip is, as a team captain, map out your fundraising. We have this paddler's handbook and fundraising tips on the website. You can download it at dragonboatupstatesc.org. We have Excel sheet essentially, or chart, where you can write in who's going to fundraise what, breaking it down. It's basically just a workbook and worksheet for you to use to help you map out how you're going to get there. There's several ways to fundraise. The possibilities are truly endless. But my biggest tip is to start with any businesses that you might be close to that you think might be opening to a sponsorship. So the festival itself has several sponsorship opportunities. And if you do the work as an individual to recruit a sponsor, I'll show y'all where the packet is on the website. But if you do the work to recruit the sponsor, we will allocate whatever that business decides to sponsor, that amount to your team or individual fundraising goals. So as an example, one of our teams, she was a paddler. Her cousin owns a business. She was like, I'm going to ask him if he's interested in sponsoring. So sponsoring, it comes with a lot of brand exposure, logo placement on the t-shirt festival, on logo placement throughout the festival, different benefits for each level of sponsorship. So she went out and asked her cousin if he wanted to sponsor, and he said, of course. And he sponsored for $2,500, and that amount went to her individual fundraising efforts, which again goes to her team's overall efforts. So that's an easy way to reach that 5,000, is through finding sponsors. If you don't have connections to a business, or just can't think of anyone, that's totally fine too. A lot of our teams come together and do a group effort. So here, this photo is an example of the HEAM team. Every single year they come together and host a lunch, and they sell individual plates to fundraise money. They have raised a couple thousand just through selling lunches at work. Other teams, if you don't want to cook or don't have the bandwidth to do that, some teams reach out to their local Chick-fil-A or local restaurant that they love and ask that restaurant to donate food. So that's called an in-kind donation. I can help you facilitate those donations as well if you need help, or if you need a template for making that ask. But you could also have food donated and sell the food at your workplace or church, or wherever it is that you have traffic coming in. You can sell that food to collect donations. And then there's other individual fundraising. So as an individual, make a list of your friends, your family, your acquaintances, your coworkers, your professors, your church friends, whatever it is, make a list of those people. And it all boils down to making the ask. So we have templates on the website to support you in making the ask. We encourage you to reach out via email, via text message, via handwritten letter, via social media, via phone call, whichever way you like to communicate or feel like most comfortable to communicate and asking your friends and family for support in your efforts. It all boils down to making the ask, though. Social media is a great tool. You're going to get donations through posting on social media, but it all boils down to making that direct ask. So if you're not seeing a lot of support, we do encourage you, it can be intimidating. It can be feel uncomfortable. It's not an uncomfortable thing, but I understand it can feel uncomfortable to ask people for money, but start with your why. Why are you doing Dragon Boat? Maybe you are personally impacted by cancer. Maybe a loved one is battling cancer. Whatever your reason is, maybe you just want to make a difference. Maybe you haven't even been impacted by cancer, but you know how important it is to support these initiatives and you just want to make a difference. Start with your why and makes the ask so much easier and makes it hard for someone to say no. And guess what? The worst thing that is going to happen in you asking for a donation is that someone is going to say no. And I promise you, 90% of the time they say yes. I also encourage, if you're having trouble with getting someone to donate, make sure they know that every single dollar counts. It doesn't have to be a huge donation. It doesn't have to be $500, $1,000, maybe $50 is too much for someone. Make sure to reiterate that $1 it makes a difference to your efforts. $5 makes an incredible difference, and it adds up quickly, and every single penny and dollar counts. So that's also a good point in sharing with your supporters, and when you're making the ask is reiterating that any type of support is beneficial and is making a difference. So one thing I haven't touched on is where the money goes. We have a long list of programs that the Dragon Boat Dollar Money and Funds Raised support. If I talked about each individual program, we would probably be here for a few hours. So I am going to speak a little bit to it, but we also have a lot of great information that you can read up on. If you are curious and getting more into the details of where the money goes, I'll again show you where that is on the website in our website tutorial. But here's kind of a snapshot of those programs that we offer. So the funds raised through Dragon Boat go toward an array of services that are aimed at preventing, supporting, and stopping cancer. So research is conducted through ITOR, the Institute for Translational Oncology Research, and the Prevent Cancer Greenville study that's led by the Center for Cancer Prevention and Wellness. Those programs are supported by Dragon Boat dollars. And the research initiatives are also funded, and the research is sustained by Dragon Boat dollars. Those research studies are aimed at stopping cancer, stopping it through lifestyle changes, learning from family history and genetics, and a long list of other areas to look at when studying how to stop cancer. We also offer, because of Dragon Boat, prevention programs that are offered to the community via the mobile mammography. So that mobile mammography travels throughout the upstate to administer mammograms. And we have found 4 cancers in the first 5 months of having that unit, and it makes giving mammograms in the community accessible, free. Not a lot of people have access to healthcare or mammograms as easily as others. So we're ensuring that everyone has access to that preventative measure. And we also, because of Dragon Boat, fund several survivorship programs that are free to patients at the Cancer Institute. Again, thanks to Dragon Boat. Programs like nutrition counseling, emotional support programs, workout regimens, and so much more to support those living with cancer and also their family members. And part of the money also goes toward our organizing partner, the South Carolina Ovarian Cancer Foundation, who also supports research toward ovarian cancer. And they also offer great supportive survivorship programs to their organization as well. New in 2023, where Dragon Boat dollars haven't supported in the past is the W. Larry Gluck, MD, Endowed Chair of Translational and Molecular Research. This endowed chair is the first endowed chair in the state of South Carolina. If you haven't heard, Dr. Larry Gluck, the medical director of the Cancer Institute, is retiring this year. He's been the medical director for several years now and is the main reason why Greenville has preventative measures and programs and research initiatives in the upstate. If it weren't for his physician scientist mindset of using research and data and developing through healthcare, learning from that research and data, we would not have these programs in the upstate. So he's been a huge leader in making sure that we're not just treating cancer, but and we're not just treating symptoms, but we're actually learning from it and studying it so we can stop it. So this endowed chair will ensure that after Dr. Gluck leaves his role as medical director, that Prisma Health Cancer Institute is prioritizing that physician scientist mindset. It holds the organization accountable to continuing that research and again to continue having that mindset in the medical setting. So we have a lot of other great information on the website about that endowed chair if you want to dive a little deeper into what that actually means. So you've developed your team, you've raised your 5,000. Now we want to plan for a fun day on the water on May 6th at Portman Marina. So again, it's Portman Marina, May 6th, rain or shine. We will provide all teams with a tent and this lanyard that we mentioned here on this slide. That lanyard is for everyone to wear when you're racing in the boat, so we can account for everyone that's coming in and out of the water. We do ask that everyone sign up on the website to sign the waiver that's on the website. We also ask you to sign up on the website to pay the $25 registration fee. This essentially pays for a t-shirt and also goes toward your team's fundraising goal. So it's not just a registration fee. It's a $25 toward kickstarting your fundraising. So that's why we ask you to sign up on the website. We do allow children at the event. We do ask that children under 16 are supervised the entire time. So if mom and dad are paddling on the boat, make sure you make arrangements for who's going to take care of the child when mom and dad are paddling. And just make sure that you have those arrangements planned in advance, that your child is being supervised the entire time. We are close to water, and we certainly don't want any unsupervised children to have any accidents. So we just ask you to supervise your kids. If your kids are over 16, they are welcome and allowed to paddle in the boat. So children about 16 or older are welcome to participate in the actual race. We don't actually allow pets, only service animals. Reach out to me if you need more information on that. And we do not allow grills, but we do encourage you to coordinate a team theme. This theme is fun. It rallies your team around something, but you could also win a prize for the best team spirit. Once you have your theme, you could also plan your food around this theme. So say your theme is Mexican inspired, or you could have a taco bar. You could have a queso bar. You can plan your food around your theme. We also have a prize for best food. A rule for best food is that you can't have your food catered. So if you want to be considered for the best food prize, you do have to actually make the food to be entered into that drawing. And then we have the best theme and team spirit as prizes as well. So that's part of planning ahead of the event with your team, and where team captains play a role in kind of making sure everyone is on the same page with the day of efforts, and kind of dividing and conquering those responsibilities. Something to also plan in advance with your team is a team practice. So if you've never paddled on a dragon boat and you're a little nervous about paddling, we do offer 2 practice days in the dragon boat at Lake Hartwell. So it'll be just like the race day. Those dates are May 3rd and 4th. I will email more information about times and when you can sign up for that practice. And lastly, coordinate and plan in advance your team t-shirt. So your team t-shirt is like your jersey for the day. You are able to submit your own personal design for your t-shirt. And as the team captain, you coordinate the sizes, everyone's sizes. So you make sure everyone gets the shirt size that they want. I'm wearing the event t-shirt, so we will have event t-shirts. The team t-shirt is separate from the event t-shirt. So again, it's your jersey for the day. It's your team's kind of identifier and a keepsake. So some key dates coming up is our pep rally on April 11th. Stay tuned for details and location on that pep rally. The pep rally is a great event to bring paddlers who maybe are struggling with fundraising, or maybe you're still trying to recruit a few more to help you paddle on the day of. Pep rally is a great event to kind of bring people, to inform them of what you're doing, and to also pump yourself up and have a fun night with other dragon boaters. I've mentioned practice week, which is May 3rd and 4th, and then of course the Dragon Boat Upstate Festival on May 6th. So I will email you continuously up until May 6th with these details. Don't feel like you have to write everything down or you're missing something. I will keep you on track as well. So make sure to keep an eye out for the Prisma or emails from Isabel. So now we're going to jump in to some team resources on the website. But before we jump to the website, we do have this text to give. If you text paddles up to 41444, it will take you to a link, or on your phone, it'll text you a link to donate to your team page or you as an individual. So say you're out at church at an event, you're talking to someone about Dragon Boat, and they're like, oh, can you just send me a link, or I don't really want to go on the website, or I'm so terrible with the website. You can say, just text paddles up to 41444, and they can do everything, give, register, whatever it is they want to do on their mobile phone. So that text to give essentially just makes it mobile for you to collect donations, and even for people to register if they want to. So now we're going to jump into the website. I am going to share my screen now. So we are on the website. It is dragonboatupstatesc.org. It doesn't translate to the URL here because of the secure platform that we use to collect donations. Since we are collecting credit card information, this is the safest platform to use. So apologies that we can't have custom URLs, but it is to ensure everyone's credit card and personal information safety. So this is the home page of the website. You'll see we have some background information. We have the Why We Paddle information here. So you click on Learn More. And it takes you to more information on where the money goes to support Dragon Boat. Again, it has that information on the endowed chair for this year. It has links to the research studies that we support if you want to sign up for the study. It has that link for you to participate. Just a lot of good background information here on where the money goes. So it does take some time. If you have some extra time to read up on that, we're back on the home page. And we also have team resources available to you on this website. So you can access team resources in this hamburger menu under Paddler Resources. Anyone is welcome to use these resources. You'll see here we have the Paddler's Handbook available for you to download. Again, it has that chart to help you map out your fundraising. It has templates to help you make the ask. It has other tips on how to plan for a great day on May 6th. So make sure you download that handbook for all things kind of Dragon Boat and to help you keep on track. But this is where we have the event information. We have the t-shirt information here. We also have social media resources, tips, templates, graphics. So use that tab to support your efforts. If you feel like you need photos to help tell your story, get in that photo gallery, and you can pretty much save any photo that is in this gallery to help you tell your story. So now we're going to jump into the Participant Center and how you can personalize your team pages. So you do have to log in. If you're having trouble logging in, you can always email me and we will get you squared away. But let's hope that you're able to log in easily. You're going to click here. Now you're logged in. Go to this hamburger menu and you're going to hit Participant Center. This is where you personalize your team pages and your personal page. So if you're an individual, you click on Set Up a Personal Page, and this is where you edit and write in your personal story. We have this template to kind of help guide you and what to say, but we do encourage you to share why you personally get involved with Dragon Boat. Maybe, again, you have a personal connection to cancer. Maybe a loved one has been impacted. Maybe you're paddling in honor of someone. Or again, it can be as simple as you just wanting to make a difference. So get in there and personalize your page. Once you have your page personalized, you can email people and keep up with your emails and responses in this participant center. Once you type in recipient, it saves that contact for you. We also have templates in here for you to use to help you, again, in making that ask, whether it's recruiting people or asking for donations. So we encourage you to use that email tool as well. For team captains, if you scroll down, this is where you can edit your team page. So you can also edit your team name if you need to. So you'll see here, once you toggle over to me, my team, this is where you're going to edit your team name if you want to. This is where you can edit your team goal. You can edit your team page here, upload photos, upload videos that are related to you and your team. We do have this capability to customize your team URL. So this URL is always going to look like this, but if you do want a cleaner URL to provide to your friends and family, you can edit that URL, and that is the URL that you can copy and paste in your social media posts, in your emails, whatever it is. So if you want, again, that cleaner URL, you can edit that here. Just make sure you share with your paddlers that you have made that change. So in a nutshell, that is the participant center. So that's where you, again, personalize your team page and your individual page, and where you, as a team and individual, collect donations and keep up with your team's fundraising. So this is what it looks like as a team page. This is where you collect donations, and if someone is on your team page and hits donate now or join the team, it will keep track with your team. So you don't have to worry about connecting donations to your team page. As long as folks are using your team page links, it will all talk to each other and reflect accurately on this fundraising thermometer. If people are signing up on your team, this is where they're going to show up. And again, this is where that personalization comes in. So if you have any questions about the website, you can, again, always reach out to me. You can reach out to me at dragonboat@prismahealth.org. And again, if I don't have the answer for you, I will point you in the right direction. Also, I think I told everyone I was going to show you where the sponsorship packet is. That is right here at the very bottom. So again, if you have a connection to a business that you think might be interested in sponsoring, and you do the work to recruit that sponsor, that amount will go toward your fundraising efforts, even though these benefit the entire festival. So those partnership levels are right here, and we will keep this document updated with which levels have been secured and which ones are open. We have several levels, as you can see, as high as 20,000 all the way down to 2,500. These community sponsorship, that community sponsorship level is unlimited to anyone in the community who would like to sponsor or partner with the event. So that is essentially the Dragon Boat team training. Again, you can reach out to me for all things Dragon Boat for support if you need a specific template, if you need a specific graphic, if you need help personalizing your page, if you just have a question. I am not a believer in stupid questions, so please reach out to me, use me as a resource, and we will support your efforts. So again, on behalf of the Prisma Health Cancer Institute and those served by your efforts, thank you so much for your support. Thank you for your time, your energy, and everything else that goes into having a Dragon Boat team. You truly are making such a tremendous difference, and you are the reason why we have research in the upstate, why we have survivorship programs, why we have preventative measures to communities that, again, don't have that accessible. So thank you so much for your support. We hope you're having fun. And again, reach out if you need anything at all. Paddles up! Woohoo!